Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Steph. I run a production house here in Singapore, doing photography, videography, live stream, and basically everything tech. Welcome to my channel. Does anyone still remember the days of Zoom? Well, not this Zoom, but a video conference app that, well, literally took the world by storm after the world lockdown due to COVID in 2022. Tech giants Google and Microsoft quickly scrambled together their game in a bid to regain market share of the video conferencing industry during COVID. Well, Google had Google Meet and Microsoft had Teams, but Zoom was the most commonly used video conferencing app back then. Well, at least for me. Were you guys also using Zoom more often back then? Fast forward to today, 2024. Is Zoom still the best video conferencing app? Well, if you are watching this video today to learn about how to use Zoom for the first time, you're probably in the right place. However, if you've been using Zoom for a long time, perhaps it's a good time to take a refresher. Let's take a look at this easy to understand tutorial for beginners. Without further ado, let's dive right in. So similarly, Zoom has an online login and a desktop app, just like most video conferencing apps, for example, Google Meet and Microsoft Teams. To use the online login, go to zoom.us and you will be greeted with a landing page. Don't be overwhelmed by the many things happening here. All you need to take note of are the three options at the top right hand corner here: Join, Host, and Sign In. If you click on Join, they will prompt you with a meeting ID to key in. My recommended option is actually to first sign in here. At the sign in page, you will have a few options to sign in with: SSO, Apple ID, Google, or Facebook. Alternatively, you can create a Zoom account by clicking on Sign Up Free here. So thereafter, the procedure for signing up is pretty straightforward. At this moment, I will interrupt by saying it's actually best to use the desktop version because as per all video conferencing apps, the online version tend to have limited functionalities compared to the desktop app version. So go to zoom.us/download to download the desktop app and select your respective version for Windows or Mac OS. Once you have downloaded the desktop app, click on the icon to open up the app. Alright, so click on the Zoom desktop app and you will be greeted with this window that you have three options to join a meeting, sign up, or sign in. I won't go into detail on signing up because it's pretty straightforward, and also I've also mentioned how you can sign up. So the signing up procedure is pretty similar to a lot of other applications that you would face when you sign up. So if you join a meeting, right, there's another small window that pops up that asks you to key in your meeting ID. So this meeting ID is actually sent to you by your friends or colleagues that you can key in. For example, I'll just put this as an example. Then you can key in your name, and then there are two other options that are checked off here. Alright, so if you check don't connect to audio, you will enter the meeting muted. That means everybody can't hear you. And if you check turn off your video, you will enter the meeting with no video on. So usually I recommend these two options because maybe your background is very noisy, or your background is very messy, or you are outside, you are not at home. So once you check these two and you click join, you can slowly tweak it to on your audio or on your video later on during the meeting. Alright, so signing in. So today I was signing to my account. Usually I sign in with my Google. So if you already have a Zoom account, you can log in with your email and password here, or you want to sign with your Apple ID or Facebook, it's up to you. So I will sign in with my Google account, and then open. Alright, the moment you log in, you will be greeted with this layout, this interface for Zoom. This is pretty standard. So as a beginner, The most important icons that you need to take note of are the 4 icons on the left here, right? The one in the middle is where you can add a calendar. Right now you see that it's showing blank, but if you want to connect your Google Calendar or your Microsoft Calendar, you can actually add your calendar here. So the next time you log into your Zoom account, you will be able to see any scheduled or upcoming meetings right here in this section. Okay, for this top part, it's a little bit more for advanced users, but I will just briefly talk about them and probably create another video later on to talk about these advanced settings. So for meetings, when you click on it, there you can see your personal meeting ID, right? This is my personal meeting ID. So remember earlier when you wanted to click on join, so if I send this, for example, I can copy my invitation, right? Copy, and you can see it's being copied to the clipboard. And when I go into my email, I can send it to whoever needs to join this meeting. Okay, for team chat, right? This is pretty advanced. So if, say for example, you are on a big project, right? You're on a big project, then there are people involved in this, for example, HR, production, admin, security. I mean, just saying for example. So you can actually create individualized team chats here to update each other on what's happening. Any files that you want to share here, you can put it on the team chat, right? So you can see there's a channel here. So you can actually customize this part with your channels. So you can create a channel like I mentioned earlier. So channel, for example, I can say production crew, right? So if this channel is public, so anybody can actually join this channel and then chat in this channel. Okay, so I can create a channel here, and then you will see there's a production crew. So if anybody is in the production crew, they can actually go in and have a chat. So whiteboards are actually if you want to do sketches or write something, these are templates here, right? And then you can share it with anybody in the Zoom meeting. So similarly for notes as well. Again, I won't talk so much about this section. In today's video, I will talk more about how you can use Zoom easily. So these are the 4 icons that you need to be familiar with to be able to use Zoom easily. Okay, the first icon is a new meeting. So if you click on new meeting, it automatically goes instantly into the meeting. The first option here, you can join with your computer audio, or you can test your speaker and microphone. So if you want to test your speaker and microphone, right, you hear a sound. So that means that your speaker is working. So do you hear a ringtone? I'll click on yes. Okay, so I'm testing the microphone now. Do I hear a replay? Okay, so I'm testing the microphone now. Do I hear a replay? Alright, so my mic is working perfectly. Alright, so my mic is working. As you can see, so your device is working properly. So once you have finished testing, then you can enter the meeting, the Zoom meeting. So what happens is right now you can see that my video is turned off, right? So if you want to turn on your video, you can actually click on the start video button here, and then you will be able to see, right? So this is the video on icon. Okay, a few options here. If you click on this arrow up button, right, you can select your camera. So right now I'm using the FaceTime HD camera, which is the onboard camera here from my MacBook Air. If you have a webcam connected or another camera connected to your laptop or your computer, you will be able to select them as options under here. One very commonly used feature is to blur my background, right? As you can see, I'm in the room and there's some mess here. So I can click on blur my background, and then you can see it's pretty cleared up. And you can see actually the keying out is pretty decent. See, it's pretty sharp. So another option that you might want to do is you can choose your virtual background. So for example, if I want to change my background, you can see here, right? If I want to be on a beach, I'll select it, and then you can see that I'm on a beach. Okay, one good thing about this Zoom's virtual background, I realize it's very, how would I put it? It's very smart, right? A lot of the other apps that I use, you see now my outline, my body outline is very clean. See, when I move, it's very clean. Because for some other apps that I've used, you can actually see jagged lines here, so they don't actually key you out that cleanly, right? Okay, then let me disable it. So if I want to disable, I click go on none, and then I'm back, so I can close it. Okay, one thing that I want to share right now is the option of mirroring my video, because a lot of times you can see, alright, okay, you can see the word here is logo, right? But what I see on my screen is actually mirrored. So if I want to see exactly how I see, okay, let me repeat. If I want to see how exactly people will see me on my screen, alright, I will not mirror my video. And then when I close it, you can see the word logo is clean. It's written nicely and correctly, right? Because previously this was checked. So when this was checked, you can see the words are reversed. Okay, so I will just unmirror my video for now so that I will look more normal. Okay. And under video, you have another option of selecting the video filter or choosing avatar. Okay, so this is very fun. I would say it's fun, but you don't exactly use it often because right, I'll just give one or two examples. See, you have this little here, yeah, little doggy here that comes up. And then these are just effects. Maybe you use it like with your friends, but probably not in a formal setting, right? And let me show you this very funny avatar. Okay, so you can become a dog person, right? See, so you can become a dog person. Okay, I'm raising my hands, but it doesn't really detect my hands, it just detects my mouth moving. So if I shake my head, you can see that it's quite intuitive as well. Okay, so you can actually figure this out yourself. So once I unchecked it, then it goes back to normal, right? Okay, so the other last part is video settings. As you can see earlier, there's a showcase here, right? Okay, now I'm mirrored, so it's a little bit weird. Okay, let me mirror it back so it's actually showing. Okay, so again, video settings, you can see on this part, right? Okay, so these are actually video settings that most people, especially beginners, they probably won't matter too much, but it is important for you to know what these video settings can do for you, right? So general, alright, you have these options. Okay, so a lot of these are self-explanatory. If you put your cursor over to the question mark, it actually tells you what it is. So a lot of these are actually unchecked by default because these are actually options not used often by attendees, right? Dual monitors, no one really uses that. Enter full screen, you do not actually want to suddenly have your screen full. Alright, so I'll just go through the ones that are checked by default. Okay, ask me to confirm when I leave a meeting. So you will see at the bottom corner here, right? N. Okay, if I click on it, they will ask you to confirm. Okay, this option is checked because a lot of people click it by accident and then they just exit the meeting, right? So we just tap here. So you can add your Zoom to your Mac OS menu bar here. You see? So this is your Zoom. And certain reminders, and as well as, okay, you can select your theme. You can have a light theme or a dark theme, okay? And then for navigations, you can actually drag this to shift it. These were the toolbar. Remember earlier when I was telling you the toolbar? So you can actually drag it to showcase different. Alright, for video, I mentioned earlier, right? If you have a webcam or another camera connected, you have the option to change your camera here. And then, like I said, now I just mirrored it back because it looks correct to me. But if you do not want, if you are wondering why you are reversed, then you can actually check it here. So it's a very good indicator that is correct. Alright, so under my video, you can actually touch up my appearance. It's just like a beautify effect. Okay, so I selected it. I'm not too sure. Alright, yeah, my skin is smoother now, but it depends on whether you need this or not. So you can adjust for low light. For example, if you are in a room that's pretty dark, it actually brightens it up. But you can see right now I'm in a bright room, so there's not much difference. You can actually test these settings yourself. The other option is to always display participant name on their videos. Okay, this is very useful because if you select this, right, then you can see at the corner, hold on, right, at the corner here, my name comes up, right? So it's useful because sometimes you get into a meeting that has a lot of people from other departments that you do not know. So if you check this, it actually shows their name. So it's not awkward. It's not so awkward like then you will ask, hey, sorry, the guy on the top left or something like that, or the guy who spoke earlier. You can actually address them by their name. So like, hey, Steph, you were mentioning earlier, can I get back to you on that? So that's an example, okay? So for other options, it's not so important. That's why it's being checked out, okay? So the other option here is maximum participants displayed per screen in gallery view. So it's default to be 25 because the more you have, the smaller the people will look. So for example, the only thing I can think of is if you have a super large, like 80 or 100-inch monitor in a meeting room, then probably you can display more participants during your Zoom meeting, right? Okay, we head on to audio, right? Earlier we tested our speaker and tested our mic to see if they were working, and they were working correctly and perfectly. Okay, this Zoom background noise remover, okay, is recommended for most users. So what happens is actually Zoom has internal software to actually mute background noises. For example, if you are in office, right, and it's a open concept office, so when your colleagues talk, there's actually a lot of background and ambient sound. So you can actually select auto, low, medium or high. Okay, my personal experience, don't select auto because a lot of times the software is, I would say, not intelligent enough to detect what is supposed to be loud and soft, and then it makes your voice very robotic. So for my own, I usually put low because it cancels out very small sounds, but it does not robotize, I would term it, your voice. So it depends on yourself. So you can either select low or medium. Not high, definitely. Okay, high is not recommended because your voice will sound very weird. Okay, for Zoom, there are actually a lot of how would I say, personalized, customized, okay, customized audio profile. So for example, you see, if you have headsets with microphone, then usually the pickup from ambient sound will be less, so you can select this. Then you can have original sound for musicians or live performance audio, which is still in beta. Okay, ringtone volume, you can actually figure it out yourself. It's not too difficult to know that when this ringtone volume is for calls coming in, because for Zoom you can actually make calls, so the ringtone volume will actually determine how loud your ringtone volume is. Okay, so I will go to share screen. These are actually settings within Zoom itself. Okay, so you can either, when you screen share, it goes into full screen mode, or you can maximize the window or maintain the current size. So usually when you share a screen, the Zoom meeting will automatically go into full screen mode, because usually when you share screen, you will want people to see details. For example, you share Excel files, PowerPoint slides, so it's default, but you can actually change it here. Okay, team chat, right? So team chat, you also have options. So on the left sidebar, you can show how many missed calls you have, contact requests, drafts, and send. Then if you want to add more to your left sidebar, you can actually check it here. But again, as I said, Zoom has actually gathered information on what is most commonly used. That's why it's being checked by default. Okay, for the rest of them, I won't be going too much into detail. Okay, recording, right? Okay, so a lot of times you will want to store your Zoom recording, so you can actually go to here, right, and key in your location where you want to save your recordings. And of course, it shows you how much disk space you have remaining. Okay, so this one was mentioned earlier. You can display the participant's name in the recording, and then if you check this option, it actually pops up your location after the meeting ends. Then you will ask you where you want to save the recording. Okay, so for profile, you actually have an option to upgrade to Pro, which is actually a paid option for Zoom, where you can have more functionalities, and then you can actually view your advanced features here. So it's very interesting, because if you have like this ecosystem, because right now you can see the devices list, right? So right now I'm using my MacBook Air, and the status is in a Zoom meeting. I have another iMac at the side here, and then it's offline because I'm not signed into that. For statistics, you can see all your information. Wow, this is pretty... I've not seen this in other video conferencing apps, where it actually shows you statistics, your audio, your network type, you're connected by Wi-Fi, you're connected to the Zoom. Okay, these again are more advanced features that you do not have to actually worry about. So we are done with settings here. Okay, so now let's get down to the more important icons here at the bottom, right? You can see, right, at this bottom. So okay, we are done with video. So the next part is actually security. Okay, security actually refers to what happens within the Zoom meeting itself. So for example, if you want to lock the meeting, you can actually click here. Then hide profile pictures. These are actually, for example, remember you went... Okay, let me show you what I mean by this. See, okay, so this part here is my profile picture, right? If I hide it, you won't be able to see. You only see initials, right? Steph Lee, so it will show SL. So usually for a more professional Zoom meeting conference, You do not want people putting in like, I don't know, weird looking pictures. I mean, we shan't go into that, but having the initials looks more professional for a proper office team meeting, right? So enable waiting room. Okay, this waiting room is something like a lobby. So if you check this and people come in, so okay, let me start again. So say for example your meeting starts at 10 a.m. Alright, if you enable the waiting room and people start to come in with their meeting ID into this Zoom meeting at say 9:55, they actually place in this waiting room for you as a host to allow them to come in. Okay, so if you do not enable this waiting room, anybody who comes in at 9:55, they will enter the room, they will be inside, and then they might start chatting and making a lot of noise. So this is usually, like I said, this is actually checked by default from Zoom. You can actually uncheck it, but it's recommended to enable the waiting room. Okay, the next security option, the next set of security options is you allow participants. Okay, so default they are allowed to share screen, chat, they can rename themselves, unmute, start video, and share anything, right? So it really depends on what kind of meeting you are hosting for, right? If it's a casual one, yes, you might want to allow all participants to do all of this, but for probably more serious meetings where maybe the big boss is giving a presentation, right, you might want to uncheck certain options like chat. You do not want the chat to be, you do not want them to chat, or you do not want them to unmute themselves, right? So these two options are more commonly used for more serious and important meetings. Okay, so a lot of these are actually self-explanatory as well. So I will just put them back here. Okay, for this participants, right, you see right now on this side there's only myself. So anybody who has joined in the meeting, you will be able to see the name here. Okay, and then if you want to invite them, right, you can actually if you want to invite more people to come in to this meeting, you can actually click on invite, and then you can select from your list of contacts. You can go for email, or you can actually just copy the invite link and then you can send them by their WhatsApp or email, right? So this is to invite people to join the meeting. Okay, this mute all option is very what happened before in my experience. Okay, so default everyone is chatting. So okay, once the meeting is about to start and probably you will invite your big boss in to talk, then as the host you can actually click on mute all, right, and then everyone will be muted at the same time. So it also allows you can see here, it allows participants to unmute themselves. So if it's important, again, I will not allow them. So once I mute all, everybody is muted, right, except for the boss, then he can you can unmute him and let him talk. And then you have more options here, right? So you can ask all to unmute, lock the meeting, and you can allow them to unmute themselves. Okay, so this is participants. So you can see again there's one, but if you have say 20 people inside, you will be able to see 20 participants here. Okay, this start summary is very interesting because I have not exactly seen this in other options. So it's actually an AI assisted app, right? Okay, if you are using it for the first time, there's actually information telling you what this is about. So in short, actually AI goes through your meeting, right? So if, for example, your meeting is for half an hour, then AI will actually summarize this meeting. But Take note is only in beta mode right now. I haven't actually used it yet to see how good it is in summarizing everything, but well, you can try it and let me know. So, and the fact that they put it here right in the main toolbar means that they probably might want to use it more often in future. Okay, reactions, same for this like you do for a lot of WhatsApp reactions. If you select it, you can actually, you can see here, so someone who makes a good comment, you can just put a thumbs up, right? And if you click on the little icon here, the arrow up, so you can play chime for raise hands. Okay, so raise your hand. What is this raise your hand? Okay, for raise your hand is, for example, right, remember earlier we talked about muting everybody. So right now I'm the host, I've muted everybody, but someone wants to talk, so I might probably say, okay, anyone has got any questions, but they can't speak, right, because they are muted, so they can raise their hand, right? You can see this hand icon here is being raised. Okay, so once I'll say probably, okay Steph, let me know what you want to talk about, and then you can lower your hand. Okay, so these are pretty much for your reactions. Okay, these apps, right, when you click on it, on this side it actually shows you certain apps that you can use for your Zoom meeting. So for example, if you want to take a group photo, right, so Zoom, when people come into the Zoom meeting, they are actually in grid, right, gallery grid form. So for example, if you have say 16, it'll be 4x4. So then a lot of times they want to take a group photo. Remember back during COVID, a lot of times we just take screenshots, right? But it's actually not that sharp. So Zoom has a built-in group photo app that allows you to take the photo in high quality, right? And you can see high quality. Okay, so for music, you can play your music. You can play music in a meeting, and then virtual background. These are actually apps that you can add on apps to your Zoom meeting. Okay, the next option right here is to show captions. Okay, so show captions means that actually it's a transcript. So whatever I talk, they will be actually displayed at the bottom. So it's useful, for example, if you are outside and it's very noisy, you cannot hear what the speaker is speaking or what he's talking about. Then when you enable captions here, then you can see what he's talking. So you can actually select the languages here, right, from Chinese to Danish, Finnish, Italian. Yeah. Record. Oh, I missed this out. Okay, so record, you are able to record. See, you record. So if you want to do a recording of this Zoom meeting, then you will select join audio. If you want to include audio in the recording, you can see here, right? So when I click on join audio, join with computer audio, and then the recording will have audio and visual, right? So you can see up here, once you have started recording, you'll be recording, right? And then if you want to stop or pause, you can actually click here, see? And it says the recorded file will be converted to MP4 when the meeting ends, right? So usually you do this at the start of your meeting, and then you probably want to inform everybody, hey, today's Zoom meeting is being recorded, just for your information, for probably research purposes or backup purposes, right? Okay, the next one that I want to talk about is breakout rooms. Okay, what is this breakout rooms? Say for example, I am at okay, it's a big say for example seminar, right? Seminar. So today's seminar, I probably want to talk about what are the upcoming plans for the company in 2024. So I've invited many departments, right? And then in this Zoom meeting, I probably want to separate them out into 4 rooms. Okay, so it's something like okay, if people that come in and they want to discuss something amongst themselves, it's like a free and easy networking session, right? So in this seminar, I'll probably talk about, like I mentioned, the goals and directions for the company in 2024, right? So maybe I want to see how many people are interested to want to talk about profits, right? So I'll create a profit-driven breakout room. Then I will create probably environment-driven breakout room. So 2024, they want to be more environmentally friendly. They want to go green, right? And other breakout rooms, the 3rd and the 4th. Okay, so right now I will just show you how it works for breakout room. So when you click on it, right? So I only have two breakout rooms earlier, right? So I will just create 2 breakout rooms, and then I won't assign automatically. Okay, remember the scenario that I gave you earlier. I've created 2 breakout rooms. One is profit driven and one is environment driven, right? So you can let them choose themselves, or you can assign manually. So for example, I want Peter, John, Michael, Michelle to go into this particular room. But most of the time, it's pretty self-explanatory. So whoever wants to choose to join which room, you can let the participants join it. So okay, I let them choose themselves. So create. So you can see room 1, like I said, I can rename it to profits driven group, right? And the other one is go green group. Okay, so there are actually 2 rooms. So what happens is during the meeting, I'll probably, if I'm the host, okay, I'll say, all right, now 1:30 p.m. we are going to break all of you guys out into 2 groups. One is for profits driven and one is for go green, which is environmentally friendly, right? And then I can actually assign here, right? All participants have been assigned to breakout rooms. I can rename or delete the room here. So once I'm ready, I can actually open the rooms, right? Okay, so now because there's nobody in this, but once people start to join, right? For example, myself, I can join the go green group, and then it opens up another window, right? So I'm in this. Okay, right now you can see here, you are now in a breakout room. So the more the people join this room, right, then we will all be in this breakout room. Okay, it's a little bit confusing because I'm the host and now I'm joining, but it's fine. Okay, so anybody who any participant in this Zoom meeting who wants to join the individual breakout rooms, they can join it from here, right? Okay, because I'm the host, I can actually broadcast a message here. So if I click on broadcast message, for example, I can tell everyone, all right, all rooms closing in 5 minutes. Please summarize your thoughts, right? And then I'll just send it out. So this message will be sent out to everybody to let them know that the meeting is ending, the breakout room meeting is ending in 5 minutes, and everyone will join back to the main Zoom meeting. Okay, it's very interesting, this option. You can figure it out yourself. Different scenarios will require the use of breakout rooms. Not all meetings will. Okay, so I can actually close all the rooms here. See, if I close all the rooms, every participant will be returned to the main session. Okay, see, you can see it's returning to the main session. Alright, so now we are back to the main session, so you'll see other people here. Okay, so reactions, we have gone through this, apps, whiteboards. Right, so these are actually all the more commonly used ones. Oh, okay, I forgot one which is important. Share screen, right? Okay, so what is share screen? Share screen is, for example, if I have a PowerPoint slide, I have an Excel spreadsheet that I want to share with everybody in the meeting. So I click on it, and then you can see I can share I have the option of sharing my desktop, whiteboard, which I create sketches, or I can actually connect to my iPhone and share whatever I want people to see on my iPhone. Pretty amazing, right? And this is of course the Google Chrome, which is the internet tab. Okay, one quite interesting thing that I want to point out is under layouts here. Okay, so this is the standard share screen layout. If I want to do, you can see at this side, okay, you can see it's a preview here. So I'm actually at the foreground but smaller in size at the corner here, and the other option is like a newscaster. Okay, newscaster. So no, this side, yeah, so this side is actually, wait a minute, this mirror thing is confusing. Alright, yeah, okay, so here you will display your slides and whatnot, and then you will be seated at the corner. So the last one will be a side-by-side option. So right now I'm talking here, and then I will share my desktop, iPhone. Okay, so see, so this I'm talking here. So for example, if I have my iPhone, right, my iPhone, and it's connected, so whatever is displaying here, it will be showcased here. Okay, so if I want to show people like some photos that I go on holiday or whatnot, and I can actually connect it by cable and then show it here. Okay, and then you have the option of sharing sound. So for slides and Excel spreadsheet, you probably won't be sharing a sound, but if you want to share videos, then you can check the box here, right? And you can also have the option of sharing high quality sound. Okay, so there are also advanced users of screen sharing, but more commonly used are the basic ones, which is sharing your desktop, sharing your, I would even say for sharing iPhone is pretty common. So it's usually sharing desktop and what's on your Google Chrome tab. Okay, so I've pretty much gone through all the options here, and I've also chatted about real scenarios that I have experienced, be it for myself or for my clients when I help them run their Zoom meetings. So all in all, I would say Zoom is actually a very comprehensive, it's a very advanced video conferencing app. So if you want to have more functionalities, able to make your meetings look more professional, Zoom is really the one that you might want to consider using. Okay, but the options down here are actually pretty similar for most video conferencing apps. I wouldn't say which is better, but if you if you want to have more options to customize your video conferencing, probably Zoom is the one. Okay, so right now I will end the meeting. I hope today's video allowed you to learn some things. Okay, all right. So there you have it, a simple and easy to understand tutorial on how to use Zoom in 2024. Thank you for staying until the end of this long video. I hope you have learned something from today's video and found today's video useful. And if you like more of such videos, let me know in the comments below what you would like to see in the future. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe and give this video a like if you want to see more of such tutorials in the future. That would mean so much to me. I'm Steph, and as always, if you have any questions, please let me know. See you in the next video. Take care and bye bye.